It's in everyone's comments. But all these fuckfaces listening right now care more about the likes people give them than the people behind those likes.
The hardest part is figuring out what you want to master.
Focus on your product.
Can you tell somebody that they suck?
You got to just go for this is exactly what I want to do for a living.
You can't even tell somebody that their breath is life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a very, 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 very special guest. I would argue to say your favorite entrepreneur's favorite entrepreneur, GaryVee.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, man. Thanks
That was
for
a
making
lot of
this
berries.
happen.
I'm fired up.
Yeah, because
I'm like
of
a
course.
7-berry guy.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. You're so like just like everyone's favorite dude that like I always say like tell me who you'd like to hear on this thing, and I get a lot of good suggestions.
Yeah.
But every time there's a GaryVee,
That's awesome.
So I want to give you the appropriate amount of
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm humbled. Thank you, audience. Let's kill this.
You're really connecting. So let me, what I do on this is I usually go through people's stories, right? I know we have a limited amount of time, and I know you've talked about it a lot, so I want to try to kind of get through it quick. But you grew up in Belarus.
Yes.
How old were you when you moved?
3.
So you
I
don't
didn't really grow. I was born in Belarus.
Got it.
I grew up I really grew up in Edison, New Jersey. I spent a little time in Queens when we first came to America. Studio apartment, similar to the room we're in right now. A lot of family members, some real ghetto shit. But where I really made my hay and like really became like where I grew up was Edison, New Jersey, which was great in the 80s, like super diverse, lots of like everything, right? Asian and brown and black and white. And it was really, really cool that way. It was the 80s, so everybody was outside. Like when I was 6, I ate breakfast. I went outside at 8:39. I came home for lunch. I went back outside. I came home at 7. And we were out.
And what were you doing? Like, did you ever, I know you're into basketball. Like, did you play basketball? Like, what was your life like?
Basketball came later. A lot of Nerf football, a lot of wiffle ball, a lot of wall ball, a lot of tennis for that kind of shit. But as I like to tell it, and like the friends that were around back then, I was forced, like we did Olympics, we played Spud, which was this weird game where you'd hit the ball on the ground, but like we did kid stuff. But man, we did a lot of business, like a lot of lemonade stand, a lot of like raking people's, like leaves, a lot of selling flowers, a lot of like baseball cards, like just I've been addicted to the game of entrepreneurship from the get. So I would say 50% of the time it was some cockamanian business thing, and 50% of the time of that other 50, like wiffle ball and football were way up there.
And was that all, like the other kids were doing that too, doing the young hustler stuff?
I was making them.
You were, okay, got it.
I was definitely the force.
And this is what, have you ever wrapped your head around like, what drove you to go that direction?
DNA. Like just the same way somebody's like starts fucking drawing at 6 and never stops. Right? Like the same reason somebody just starts singing and never stops. Or, I think there's a small group of people, call it 3 to 20% of people who are just deeply passionate about like their thing. Maybe it's even less. Maybe 10% of people who are just like, I'm incapable of being anything else. I got lucky. I hate the word luck, but like I'm living through a time where entrepreneurship is cool. Like if you're a businessman in 1974, like, the Knicks players don't think you're cool. Like, in 1983, like Russell Simmons doesn't think like the CEO of IBM is the fucking shit. Like that's just not how it was. So what's been really crazy for me is like, I lived a life. I was 30 years old. Like I was 34 years old before I made one business video in my life. So I'd already built a business. My family's liquor store business. Like I lived a life. I was 34. I lived a life before all this shit started happening. And just watching entrepreneurship be put on a pedestal is exciting and also scary. I will tell you that one of the number one fears I have is too many kids want to be an entrepreneur even though they're not.
And that's what's interesting is because like I think that entrepreneurship is having a moment, and also you're like directly out in front of it. You know what I mean? Like it's having a moment and you are the guy. You know what I mean? Do you know how many meetings I go into now and everyone now has a camera guy?
Oh yeah.
And that's literally 100% I think influenced by what you're doing. But my question is, so obviously that's cool, and that's the discussion that a lot of people have on this podcast is like, yeah, everyone's an entrepreneur now. And I say, I think that the good news is there will be more real entrepreneurs out of this, right? There's just going to be a lot of fakers.
To your point,
Yeah.
There are thousands, tens of thousands, and I would argue hundreds of thousands and maybe even millions who during this era find entrepreneurship, the freedoms that come with it, the beauty of it, that wouldn't have 20 years ago because they would have been executives. What I'm worried about is the collateral damage.
What do you think happens to the person that's caught in the crossfire?
I think there's some people that commit suicide.
Yeah.
I think there's some people that, you have to understand why I say that. Depression, because you can't hide.
Yeah.
Like when your t-shirt business fails because the economy fails and influencers don't get paid like that anymore and shit hits the fan and you go work at Citibank, your family and friends know that you, and don't forget, you're the one who, you know, like all this
is
is
in your bio.
Yeah, man, this is super documented.
Yeah.
Like you're talking shit 26 months ago in front of a Lambo, and now you work at Chick-fil-A corporate.
Yeah.
And that's going to be something that's going to take a lot of self-esteem and humility to get through. And most people haven't been raised with self-esteem and humility. So the reason I'm talking this game is not to be like, I'm cool and you're not. It's like, yo, you know what's fucking cool? Self-awareness.
Yeah.
You know what the fucking coolest shit in the game is? Forget like fresh sneakers and forget like a hoodie and forget about money and forget about being a cryptocurrency fucking winner. You know what's the fucking coolest? Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Do you know yourself? And then do you put yourself in the best position to succeed?
Yeah. So what would the advice be to someone, if someone's listening right now who's like, damn, I've been talking a lot of shit on Instagram and I'm not.
Go work for somebody.
Well, but what I'm saying is, let's just say you're trying to get your business off the ground, to be determined whether it ends up becoming successful or not.
People know. People know.
The entrepreneur knows.
If you're listening right now, and you're like, fuck, I don't want, like, I just tweeted something that just went kind of batshit crazy. It went something like, yo, if you're 22 years old and your parents pay for any part of your lifestyle, let me define that real quick.
Yep.
If your parents pay for your Uber, if your parents pay for your gym, if they're splitting the rent with you, if they pay for your fucking shit in any way, does your mommy and daddy give you $1?
Yeah.
If they do, and you talk shit about them to your friends that they're not giving you more, you're the biggest piece of shit of all time. So I put that out there, right? And so it's getting crazy right now. And some people are coming through. They're like, yo, this is the thing I'm most embarrassed about. And I'm like, yo, change.
Yeah.
I'm like, good. First of all, you're amazing. Because a lot of people are seeing that and saying, fuck you, GaryVee.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
Good. You're like, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
Change. Like, is it going to be fun that you maybe can't wear a pair of Yeezys as often as you want?
Yeah.
Is it fun that you can't take out your girl to, you know, the fanciest fucking spot? Is it fun that, like, you know, you want the new LeBrons or you want better tickets to the fucking playoff game or you want to get a bottle at the club? Like, is it fun that you can't? No.
Yeah.
But is it way better and putting you in a position to succeed long term? Absolutely. Because when you're living in a fake environment, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm getting most passionate about is fake environments.
Yeah.
Too much money in the system, fake environment. Influence getting paid for everything, like chick. Like that is an inflated market that will eventually have to correct.
Yeah.
You know, but the number one fake environment in our society is you think you're a big shot, but your parents are actually paying for it.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
fucking hate those people.
So let me ask you what is this, because this is the lesson I'm kind of gathering from that. And tell
actually,
me
real quick, because I need clarity.
Yeah.
I don't hate those people. I hate those people if they talk shit, make pretend they're not getting paid for, or talk shit about their parents. If you walk around like, yo, my parents are the fucking best, and I'm actually I'm really entitled, but like, fuck it, this is my life. If you own your shit, I love you.
Yeah. So that's my question is, because you're all about creating content and putting everything out there, is it just don't front? Put everything out there, but tell the truth and say like, yo, today's vlog, my mom just paid my phone bill. That's dope, but I'm really trying to grind it out.
Okay. Dude, people will love you for that.
I
Like
get it.
when you say like, you know, a lot of people like you, I hear that and I'm like, because I like them first.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to get like, do you know how many people on the internet are faking a lifestyle so that people pay them?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To
the
get
whole
that,
internet.
Like, the whole internet. Like the whole internet right now is faking a lifestyle and then trying to sell people on like, I figured out this lifestyle, you can too, when they didn't figure out that lifestyle. And their business is to make money off you.
Of course.
Whether that's selling a course or selling a product.
Yeah. I'm curious what that correction will be. There's always a correction. What's that correction?
When the economy fucking fails and people look around and be like, yo, where's the money?
Yeah.
You know, everybody under 30 hasn't been punched in the face yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like unless you lived through that 2008, like, which is now a decade ago, you haven't been punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And until you're punched in the mouth, you actually don't know how tough you are.
True. Okay, let me ask you this. Going to the wine, because I know you took over your parents' wine business.
Yes.
Explain to me why, first of all, why? Why did you take it over? Were they kind of over it, or
No.
you just like, hey, I can do this?
Hey, I can do this, and my parents are the best, and I got to pay them back. The story that most people don't know about me is I built that business from 3 to 60 and left with nothing.
Mm-hmm. And why?
Because it was my parents' business.
So you just didn't care. There was no.
I care. Like, I don't want to front.
Yeah.
Like, it feels a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, you live, first of all, I gave up my 20s.
But the day you left, you didn't say like, hey, guys,
I was ready. I knew what was about to come next.
You didn't want $1.
I had no leverage. Like, I wasn't going to roll up on Pops and be like, yo, count me in now.
I would have
like,
rolled up on Pops.
The time to roll up on Pops was in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm an immigrant. Yeah. Like, when you're a white immigrant, people don't really know you're an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I wasn't born here. And like, here's family immigrant businesses. We have a business, whether it's a bodega or a liquor store or a 7-Eleven or a car wash or whatever the fuck it is. We have a business, and it's mom and dad's until they die, and then you get the business.
Yeah.
That's the rules, everybody. And so, but honestly, that worked for me because to be very frank, my number one reason of going into the family business was I wanted to put them on the way they put me on. Yeah. I didn't even want to owe fucking favors to my parents.
Yeah.
This is why I get so crazy about the entitlement shit.
Yeah.
I went the other way.
Yeah.
I wanted to settle the score with my parents for putting a roof over my head and taking me to America from bullshit fucking Belarus.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just fucking explode this for them. That's how it evolved.
And your relationship with them is good and has always been good, right?
Yeah, but I would say, and back to not fronting, there was tension between me and my pops because a couple things happened. One, I'm building this huge business and it's not mine.
Yep.
That's weird. And I would argue that when I got into my late 20s and early 30s, that started to weigh on me a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I started getting a lot of fame in the liquor business, like WizKid, and my dad, and everyone's like, Gary's store. And that started fucking with my dad. He's like, yo, first of all, it's my store.
Really?
Second of all, like, yo, I came here with nothing and like did something. Like, what happened to my part of the story? Because it became WizKid does this and WizKid, it wasn't like it is now with the whole, where I've really kind of gotten some awareness. It was in this little industry.
Yeah.
But in that, you know how it is, right?
That's your world.
You just beat me to it. It's your fucking world.
Yeah.
And so like 80-year-old dudes are rolling up at my pops and be like, man, your kid really put you on. Yeah, you got it. And my dad's got too much pride for that. I mean, if anybody ever rolls up on me in my life and says my kids put me on, I'm going to punch that person in the face.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't play for me. And my dad and I share a lot of competitive DNA. So luckily I had a lot of empathy for my dad and understood like, yeah, I wouldn't like that either. So I was able to always kind of, swallow my pride at times. And then ultimately, like my brother was graduating college. I knew I was going to start a business with him. I made a really smart move and took the money I had saved. And, one of the things I did really well was I lived humble as fuck. I lived in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment in Springfield, New Jersey. It didn't cost much. I didn't get fancy and moved to New York. I never went out. So really easy to like save money when you don't spend $1,000 on a weekend hitting it hard. And I saved. I didn't have a lot of money, but everything I had, I bet on Facebook and Twitter. This is why I believe people can win. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was building a business for somebody else. I just lived humbly. Like everybody wants some kid just tweeted, I put out that tweet. Somebody else was like, yeah. Other kids like, easy for you guys to say. It was so much easier in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Of course. I'm like, you're a fucking loser, dick. We didn't have internet. Yeah. The fuck do you know about the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Yeah. You fucking suck, bitch. Yeah. Like it's not easier. You're just lazy and entitled because mommy and daddy did everything for you. Yep. And you think life's about playing fucking Xbox and smoking weed and fucking drinking Mountain Dew, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
Go work.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What did you...
so pissed.
I love it. I love it.
I'm bringing the collateral from the tweet I just saw. Everybody who's listening, I'm sorry, 16 minutes ago I saw that tweet. I'm like, this kid literally thinks the 70s, 80s, and 90s was harder?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? The internet's the best. Every fucker listening right now can go to Alibaba, buy some bulk shit, flip it on Amazon and eBay, and make money.
Yeah.
Every dick listening right now has $1,000 worth of fucking shit in their home that they'll never use again. Do you understand if you put that dartboard on eBay, you'd get $7?
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, I'm not the one in your tweets.
I get it.
But because it's the other thing.
I can't stop looking at everything in this room.
There's just a bunch of random shit.
There's $8,000 in here.
Yeah.
Because those Nikes are probably worth a fortune.
Yeah, this place is like a little eBay gold mine. You know what I mean? Because this is the other thing I was going to say is you must get the worst of all of those type of social media comments. You know what I'm saying? Because
I get the best and the worst.
True. But because you're exposing everyone's you're ripping everyone's scabs off. The biggest
reason a lot of people don't like me at first is I'm poking at the thing they don't want anybody to know about.
Yeah. And then it's like, fuck you, dude.
100%.
You know how hard it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do. But like you dwelling and blaming your parents, your neighborhood, society, the government, it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
complaining and entitlement is just it's poison.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, and this is why I get the best. I get fucking DMs that make my head spin.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
Yo, bro. Like shit like this. Yo, bro. So yeah, I was hitting my girl before I started watching your shit. And you've made me a better man. And I don't do that no more. And I make money the right way. Like
you respond to that?
Yeah. I'm like, all right, first of all, like, cool. Let's never hit your girl again. 2, like, awesome. And 3, like, don't get flashy now.
Yeah.
Just because you made your first $1,000 flipping something on Craigslist. By the way, do you know how much money I've made for people telling them to go to Craigslist, get shit for free, and then flip it?
Wasn't that kind of the first big thing that really broke through to like the masses?
It was, you know what it was? It wasn't that. I will say this. I was on The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Envy came at me. And he was like, yo, whatever. Like stop being like, stop motivating
I watched
me.
That.
Give me something of tangible. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I was like, he came at me. I'm like, your brain goes fast. And I'm like, well, the most tangible thing I know, if I went to 0 tomorrow, coma, my face got ripped off, I have a new face, I'm in Alaska, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Is this a nightmare? No, this is my new life. Cool. I don't complain. And the first thing I do is like, I find shit to flip. Yep. Like the number one thing that gets everybody out of 0 is selling something.
Yeah.
And I think like everybody wants to build like the next Off-White. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, before you get to the next Off-White, before you tell me that you're fucking, going to be the next fucking champion, why don't you learn how to go to Goodwill, buy some t-shirts for $1 and sell them for $11 and get your shit together? Because in your email, you also said that you have $17 and you want me to give you $10,000. Yeah.
But that thing just caught, right? That Breakfast Club clip was just caught.
Yeah, I mean, Breakfast Club, no question, started the process. It was interesting. It was happening in parallel. Breakfast Club, and I brought Mike Boyd closer to my team, not just at VaynerMedia, because I wanted to. It's just very, to me, the culture, music. Like I started listening to more emerging artists. It's amazing how it actually works. Yeah. Breakfast Club and me spending a lot more time on SoundCloud and artists and just in general. The sneaker thing was in the background that I wanted to do with K-Swiss. Yeah. Like it was just like all happening, and Vayner's getting more mature, so I know I'm ready to buy shit. So brands, I want to market to 15 to 30. Youth keeps you young. I love it. I feel younger at 42 than I ever in my life because I'm just in it. Yeah. It's cool. I like it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Back to the story part of it. So you build this business up to 60 million. That's from like doing the YouTube stuff, doing better marketing, right?
Email, Google AdWords, even direct mail and radio and television. Just a great marketer, a great operator. I'm a businessman. Yeah. VaynerMedia, VaynerX with PureWow and 1:37 p.m. now. It's a $200 million enterprise I built from scratch. Yeah. Like, I'm a good businessman. Yeah. Like, I think people forget that a little bit. Yeah. I like that part a little bit. I think I like being underestimated. Yeah. And I think the explosion of GaryVee in the last 18 months has a lot of people underestimating how much of a businessman I am, not just a personality.
Yeah, but that's going to benefit you later.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm just going to ask this question now.
Please.
This is one I wrote down. One thing that you wrote that I thought was really dope was, or said, or something was, everyone said you were the wine guy until you weren't.
Yeah.
What is everyone saying that you are now?
I think
you're not.
I think 50% of the people in the world think I'm a motivational speaker.
Yeah. And how will they see you differently in 10 years?
That was one of the greatest businessmen of all time who happened to be motivational.
Yeah.
And honestly, let me say it a different way. I think I will be one of the most respected entrepreneurs ever. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if I'm going to make the most, let me phrase, I'm not going to make the most money, right? Mm-hmm. Elon Musk and Zucks and Bezos and Meg Whitman, there's tons of people that are, going to do it bigger. What I think I'm going to do is give back more to the game. Mm-hmm. The people that are really in the billionaire girls, boys club, they're not in the trenches like I am. Mm-hmm. They're not spitting fucking eBay flip tactics. They're not doing podcasts because they know they're going to reach different people. They're not in it. Yeah. They're in their ivory towers. Yeah. In their fucking, this morning, 6 a.m., I did a little snap, just sitting at the airport. I mean, fucking 100 people are like, yo, why don't you fly private? Yo, don't you have a fucking club, membership with all the miles you put in? Yeah. And I replied, I'm like, I do. I'm like, but it's fine sitting here too. Like, I'm not fucking fancy. Yeah. And
do you think it keeps you hungry? Because I also, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't consider myself very fancy. I've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
Flying private is one of the things that I would just love to be able to do. And my question is, do you
flying
just
private
feel the
smart because
hunger
it's
more?
practical.
Yeah.
And I've definitely flown private more in the last year than I have in my whole life because it saves me time, and time is valuable. You know, to me, it's like if I don't have to fly private, I definitely don't. I'm not fucking. Who am I fucking flying private for?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. How about this? I flew to Cannes private the other day.
Yeah.
And it sucked because the beds in first class American make a flatbed, and the private shit is kind of still a little bit old school. Yeah. It was a fucking $1 trillion plane, but it was still not a fucking bed the way I liked it. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I wish I went fucking American.
Yeah. I get it. Okay, so let me
just stay on that for 1 minute because I have a great sense of who listens to this.
Yep.
If you are doing anything because you give a fuck about what the other person seeing it thinks, you are losing.
Agreed. It's not about, for me.
Period.
Let me say me to you.
That's it, by the way.
What?
So if you're flying private because you love it, Andy Frisella, buddy of mine, he loves Lambos. And I know he does. Yeah. So I'm like, good. You win. Yeah. Right? Like, to me, your point, that's why I made that point.
Yeah.
If you want to fly private, if you fly private because your time's become so valuable, smart. If you fly private because, fuck it, it makes you super happy. Like, your dream of dreams is like, this just makes me fucking smile in my stomach. Yeah. Then good. Yeah. But if you fly private because you want to put that Instagram photo up and you want to project a persona, it's going in the wrong direction. Yeah. You're tied up in the wrong thing.
And so you just genuinely, at the core of you, don't give a shit about just being on an American lay flat.
Not that part, right? Like, I give a shit about being liked, which is why people like me.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely give a shit about being liked. So that's why I build a real community. That's why I'm putting out good shit. Yeah. I genuinely don't want to spend money on things that I don't value. Yeah. So, for example, if I value my health like I did 4 years ago, I have a full-time trainer. He flies with me. It costs me money to fly my trainer to LA and work out this morning at fucking Equinox like I did. Like, you know, I'm spending money, but I'm spending money on what matters to me.
Yeah.
And for example, I don't even talk that much about having a trainer that travels with me. I have a funny feeling the people I'm referencing in this thing, if they had a trainer traveling with them, they'd have a post of that every time. Be like, hey, Rick, isn't it awesome to be in Mexico? Yeah. I paid for Rick to be in Mexico because I'm a baller. You fucking asshole.
So when you, obviously, undeniably, you're one of the best at the best at this new media style of even being an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
And documenting and connecting, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you started this, did you have this grand plan, or was it like, this just needs to be documented, and this whole thing kind of snowballed?
D-Rock reached out to me, wanted to make a film. I was ready. Vayner was finally in a place where I was ready to make content again because in 2012 to 14, I was kind of head down. Mm-hmm. D-Rock hits me up. He's like, I want to make a film for you. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Makes a film. I really like it. I really like him. He's a good kid. And I'm like, you know what? I've been dying to do this Q&A show called, I loved speaking. Speaking was working for me. And I was like, you know what would be rad if I just did Q&A? Because that's where I'm at my best. Like, if you ask me where I'm at my best, it's Q&A. So I was like, man, I'm going to do a show about Q&A that may parlay into me being able to just do Q&A keynotes. That was the master plan.
Got it.
So I hired D-Rock full time. We started a YouTube show called the Ask GaryVee Show, and it starts popping a little bit. At the same token, Casey and others have the vlog thing going, first person.
Oh, and nice that.
Right.
Yep.
And D-Rock's like one of these fucking, video nerds like Babin, all these fucking kids. They love this shit. They grew up with it. They love Casey. They love all this shit.
Yeah. And
he's like, you have to do this. You have to do this. I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking walking around with a camera in my hand. And somewhere, somehow, some moment, I'm like, you should follow me around. Yeah. And I remember sitting on it actually for a little bit because I was like, oh, that's super douchey. Yeah. Like, am I really going to go like reality TV on the world without like really doing reality TV?
Yep.
I'm like, that may not play. But then finally, back to not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be right. And a lot of people are going to do this in 2 years. Yeah. And I'm going to be you just did it for me. You literally, in the start of this episode, did what I knew would happen 3 years ago, which is, I'm going to get credit for starting a trend that 100%. Everybody's going to do. Because it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. It's not just a good idea for building your brand and all that. It's a good idea because it's going to be fun to look at when you're fucking old.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to watch fucking when Babin's 73 and looks like dog shit. I'm like, dude, you were so young at 20. Look at you. You're fucking amazing. Like, it's going to be, I mean, all the cool shit I did in 2005 to 2010, I spoke to Facebook when there was 300 employees.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to reference.
Yeah.
Like, I was super right about Instagram being a steal for $1 billion. I have one lucky moment on CNN where I'm like talking that shit, but I would have had 3 months of talking that shit.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to be right about voice, right? And in 7 years when voice and everybody's trying to figure out their voice strategy and their Alexa skills and all that, I'm be like, yo, look at the recall in 2018 when I fucking predicted this shit. Yeah. And then people will be like, oh, fuck. Like, it just works.
Yeah.
And then most of all, my grandkids are going to be like, hey, Grandpa, Gary, like, I talk like you, or I have that mannerism, or I make that smirk, or that's why little Sally fucking does that thing.
Yeah.
And that's just like, why do we looking at pictures of our grandparents? Yeah. This is way better.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Let's just paint the picture of one day you're a billionaire, you're the owner of the Jets, you're up in the box, killing it. Is Babin with you vlogging it?
Yeah, but it probably won't be Babin because Babin's probably going to be accepting his 3rd Academy Award.
Sure, the next Babin. I'm saying,
100%.
Are you vlogging?
I'm going coast to coast
from now until your funeral?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, look, anything can happen. Something bad, something tragic can happen in my life. Yeah. My mom could tragically die tomorrow, and I might just shut down for a while, or who knows, right? Or something new happens, or what have you. But I see non-business value in vlogging. Yeah. Yeah. I see personal, family heritage shit. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you get to the $1 billion, multi-billion dollar Jets owner? I guess what I'm saying
How
is,
am I planning on doing it?
From my perspective, right? And this is really another one of like my questions to you is, I see what you're doing kind of.
Yep.
And you have all of these different things from the agency to the new companies to whatever. And you now have this added icing level of fame, for lack of a better word, and connection.
Yep.
What do you do
with all that?
Take that to that level?
I buy Prince, the tennis racket business.
Yeah.
I convert it into a sneaker and hoodie brand. Mm-hmm. I run it through the Vayner and GaryVee machine. Mm-hmm. I buy it for $208 million because now I'm building big businesses. I can afford it. And I sell it for $2.7 billion to Adidas because they need the more contemporary brand. I buy Cracker Jacks for $100 million. I flip it for $1 billion. I think what I did smart was I deployed self-awareness 8 years ago and said, I have to build a machine that's the scalable version of me. Yeah. So that when I buy Smart Water on the decline, when I buy Rolling Rock the beer, when I buy this shit, this thing, that I will become the CEO of. Yeah. So my executives at Vayner, somebody will become the CEO, right? Andre will become the CEO, Marcus, Jeff Nichols, like somebody's gonna become the CEO. And then I will be the CEO of a business that I buy for a couple $100 million that I will sell for $2 billion, and I'll be off to the races.
Is that what Pure Wow is for you?
Pure Wow is actually part of the machine. Yep. So that's publishing, right? Yep. 1:37 p.m. now, a Mails brand, that's part of the machine because I'll use those entities to vig whatever the fuck I care about.
So there's no brand yet. And what do you do now? Like, are you constantly looking right now?
Yeah, but everything's expensive because the economy's too fluffy.
Yeah. So you're gonna wait
I need everybody to go work at Citibank. Got it?
Yeah.
I'm like a snake in the grass right now, which is crazy because I'm loud as fuck right now.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm incognito right now. Yeah. Which is why I know I've won. If everybody thinks I've won or I'm winning right now, and I think I'm dog shit right now, and I'm still laying low, and I'm just jockeying and putting the pieces together, well then I'm fucking coming out like a phoenix in 2025.
Yeah, that's what I see from my perspective. I see, and obviously we've been involved in TV and all these different things, right? So I see what you've done. I see the platform you've now built. I see it not as at the height. I see it as like, all right, you're lined up to do the thing. What is it going to be? I can't wait to see the next.
And it might be IP. Like I might buy like Snorks. Remember Snorks? Those fucking like, you got to be old kids. Most of the people listening now are like going to have to Google it. Yeah. Snorks were like under the water Smurfs back in '84.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to buy some old IP maybe. Yep. I don't know, but I'm going to buy something and flip it.
Got it.
Because that's what I do. Whether it's buying fucking He-Man toys for $8 at a garage sale and flipping it for $42, or buying some wine and flipping it, or baseball cards. That's what I do. Yeah. I'm just going to have one big fucking flip.
Yeah. Another big one that I think a lot of people know, and we'll wrap it up after this, is the one thing is you vlog your fucking ass off. You are constantly creating content, but you can tell there's a massive side of your life that doesn't show.
My family.
Family,
yes.
right? Is it like you're working all day, but when the clock is up, it's time to go. You wrap it up, you go home, and you're just Father Gary.
No,
you're
on
not...
the weekends and 7 weeks vacation, but Monday through Friday, I'm getting home at 11:30 at night. There is no Father Gary.
So they just know they're waiting until the weekend.
Yeah, we're playing an extreme game. At least that's what it is now.
Yeah.
It worked for me and my family. It worked for my wife's family, so it's a little bit more native to us. I'm sure for some people that's crazy.
Yeah.
I respect that. Everybody should do it their way. So that's what's going on. And then on the flip side, we're not showing the family because we made a family decision that, like, you know, my wife and kids, like, we're going to keep that separate. And you know, it's already been hard because I'm getting recognized so much more in public when I'm with them. But it's definitely, it's been very conscious.
And that doesn't bother you? Like, the one thing that kills me or gets me is you're going to, everywhere you go, you're doing meetups, you're doing, like, it seems like you genuinely love the energy, the connection, that 100%. You don't get tired? You don't get worn out of, like, man, I just want to go to the mall with my family and not be recognized?
No.
You don't?
I really like, Babin, right? That's the coolest part, right? Like, I get more energy.
Yeah.
100%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like at the end of, like, the longest day, someone can roll up and you just immediately, like...
Yeah. It's tough, man. I've even had times where
you know
I'm
what?
like, man, I love you.
Because I'm
like,
grateful.
Yeah.
I can't get over the gratitude.
Yeah.
Like, there's no tired or annoyed or struggling with something that person doesn't know about that trumps the gratitude of somebody being like, holy shit, you're GaryVee. You understand a very important thing about me.
Yeah.
My micro fame, emerging fame, comes not because I'm fucking hot. Not because I can spit bars. Not because I can put a ball in a hoop.
Yeah.
My fame is coming because I'm bringing people emotional and mental value that then maybe they act on, which then makes their life better.
Yeah.
There is a different level of relationship, and it's nice. If you like me, I've done something nice for you.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to be less insecure. I've gotten you to finally tell your parents to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to, like, do the thing you've been dying to do.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to put your situation in perspective. Here's my big thing. If you've heard me, you're already in a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you've ever heard me, it means you have internet.
True.
Probably have
a nice iPhone.
You have a smartphone.
Yeah.
Like, go sell your phone. So you're already in a decent spot. And so my big thing is perspective.
Yeah.
Like, you could be dead. You could be not alive at all. You could, like, my mom, and I appreciate you. I know I'm on a hard stop, but I'm enjoying it now. So I'll give us a couple more minutes.
Okay,
so I appreciate your energy.
Yeah.
My mom lost her mom when she was 5.
Yeah.
Her mom died. My mom was being raised in the Soviet Union. Let me just break it down for everybody. Bad. Like, bad. 1962 Soviet Union. It's bad. Like, I know Mississippi's bad. I know there's a lot of places that are bad in America. It's bad. Like, Stalin was killing everybody. Like killing everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Next. Her dad then goes to jail for a decade for being Jewish. That's how it rolled in the Soviet Union. Listen, we got real fucking race problems and gender problems in America. Forget about Supreme Court. You're mad at them right now or all this other shit. Like, in Russia, you just got scooped up and sent to Siberia. So now her dad's ghost. She's also living in one of the small Jewish towns in Russia, post-World War II, where everybody blamed Jews for World War II. So all the millions that died, that's your fault. And Grandpa, after he lost his wife, after my mom lost her mom, he goes a little bit like gangster and marries, like, a young non-Jewish girl, which is like a scandal in all of town. So now mom lost her mom, dad's in jail, and she's being raised by a young non-Jewish woman, which ostracizes her from the whole environment. And her 5-year older brother is really her 5-year younger brother, right?
Yeah.
My mom then has a kid at 20, moves to America with nothing. Her husband has to work the next 15 years every minute and never sees him, and raises 3 kids with no help. We go on one family vacation my whole life. My mom never complained once. So when I sit here and I'm like, why do I get so pissed that people complain? And by the way, Babin, you've been with me. I've never really said this in this way. So I'm glad I'm saying it on your podcast because I'm going to point to it and make sure everybody listens. Yeah. Now I know why I hate complaining. Because if my mom doesn't complain, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. And you've always been that way.
And I've always been that way without realizing it.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Because who the fuck's psychoanalyzing themselves in their teen or 20s?
When did you realize it? When all this attention started coming and people started saying, how come you're so positive?
Yeah. I started, in the last 5-7 years, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I connecting like this? What the fuck? Am I Oprah? Like, wait
a minute.
Fuck, I'm Oprah. God damn it. Like, and I push against it, which is good. Like, I don't want to make my money on my audience, which is the biggest thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
Was that I knew how to make money outside of the people that listened to me, which is game changing. Which is why people fuck with me. They know I don't want their money. I want their attention for a very limited time so I can reframe their fucking brain to make them realize how good it is and how capable they are. I want to basically undo all the bullshit their parents and friends did to give them insecurity. Shed some light on, you're mad that you fucking went to college and you can't get a job? What about going to Kmart, buying things on closeout and selling it on eBay? Like I'm not joking about this. I think people, I don't think people really understand how deeply religious I am about this, which is you are 100% in control. You don't like America? Move to Sweden.
Yeah.
Now,
I get it. And what's funny is
it's
I
very
get it
real,
more
my man.
sitting and talking to you, right?
Interesting.
There's something
Why?
about because I watch a lot of your stuff and I really like
I
a
appreciate
lot
it.
of it.
Yeah, no, I know you give love, which I appreciate.
I do, and
in real life, it just you can.
No, and I'm not
tell
saying
it's
I don't want it to
more-
come off wrong. I'm not saying I've ever questioned it and said oh, this is a.
But it closed the
front.
final.
But when
dot.
you sit and talk with you, you can tell that it's not a character.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like you
Yeah.
can just something about just actually the way that you say it.
But that's what everybody asks you, right? Like, am I real in real life? That's the number one question, right?
Well, sure, I bet. I can see why, but I'm just saying that I think that really sitting and talking to you, it's damn, you genuinely, it's in your eyes. It's in the way you know what I mean? Like you really.
You know what's really cool? My high school, junior high, college friends, they're the most excited. Because they're like, man, you were like this when there was none of this.
Yeah.
Meaning before the internet.
Yeah.
You were the nicest kid in our junior high trying to amp up the biggest nerd in our, this is real stories I get.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah.
You were just nice and you didn't give a you took L's from popular kids to protect nerds because wow, you actually did. Oh, now I get it. You didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And to me, life now is way easier than high school. You know when this shit was hard?
Oh, yeah.
When the high school ecosystem didn't reward kindness.
Yeah. High school sucks.
High school sucks and there's hierarchy, but I spit in the face of the most popular kids in my high school. First of all, they liked me.
Yeah.
Because I liked them.
Yeah.
But anytime they went to that place where they weren't nice, and I wasn't tough, it wasn't like I was gonna fight.
Yeah.
I would just make snarky comments back. I knew how to play psychological warfare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Clear. Yeah.
I knew how to poke their insecurities.
Yeah.
You're mad at Joel because Becky broke up with you.
Yeah.
And then everybody's you could, what's great about high school is you can swing it quick.
Yeah. Damn it. What about, can I ask you another
go
one?
ahead.
What
Go
about, to me, it appears that the K-Swiss deal
Yes.
is outside of your bigger strategy.
Outside of my bigger strategy.
Meaning, right, if your bigger strategy is building this up, not worrying about monetizing fans, but bringing on brands, building up whatever, what was the strategy behind?
It's the preview.
It's just to see if you could do it?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the preview.
And yeah.
K-Swiss was will go down as a thing that everybody looks back at and be like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was cutting his teeth on that.
Mm-hmm. So for you, that's can I sell product?
100%.
Can this work?
But not me.
Yeah.
It. Meaning GaryVee, but K-Swiss is getting lifted overall.
Yeah, I get it. That's just a question I had. Because I watched that. I'm trying to obviously.
And you know why I did
See
it with
what you-
K-Swiss? Because they were at zero.
Yeah. Did you take equity?
Nope. I didn't even need to make a good deal. I needed to see, if I did it with something that was further along, I wouldn't have been able to unwind if it was my impact or if it was just cruising.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
So I had to go with something that gave me freedom and really was going to bank on me.
Yeah. Because I feel like you deserve equity in, you know what else is AirPods? I see so many fake GaryVees with AirPods, man. It is incredible.
I will tell you, those are the fun things about documenting. If you look at the early days, I had AirPods day one. Everyone's shitting on them. I'm co-signing it heavy. And now everybody's fucking doing
There's
it.
so many beanies and AirPods
So
with
many,
a cameraman
man.
walking behind it.
It's, by the way, and
so
you know what's crazy about that? It's just the most, I'm just like, what? Because I never
incredible.
pandered to cool my whole life,
Yeah.
back to high school and everything,
Yeah.
to watch nuances of cool. And I don't think I'm the coolest, but I definitely understand what's happening.
But bro, you're
I'm like,
cool.
I'm
When
like, why am I
entrepreneurship
cool?
is
It's just,
cool.
like, so fun.
It lined up.
No, I know. It's really cool.
Fuck. Okay, this is the end.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna flip this in a different way for you.
Go ahead.
You do Ask GaryVee.
Yes.
People call in, they ask you all sorts of questions, want you to turn their life around. Let's just go back in time. You're young GaryVee running around New Jersey, flipping lemonade stands, doing all this shit. You call Ask GaryVee and say, hey man, is there anything you can tell me? Like I'm really hungry out here. I really want to be a big entrepreneur. What do I do? What takes the edge off of some of my extra worries, what can you tell me, old Gary?
So a couple things. I would love, you know what I wish is I lived in the era where chemicals in one's body were readable in real time. If you
Say it again?
Yeah, I'm going to say it really nice and slow because I know it's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
If you knew what was happening in my body as you were asking that question, I could feel the warmth of my chemicals.
Yeah.
The thought that young Gary would ever call old Gary is inconceivable.
Why?
Because young Gary didn't want to take advice from anybody.
Yeah.
There was no insecurities.
Yeah.
It was 100% tilt. I know what the fuck I'm doing. No one's my mentor. The game is my mentor.
Yeah.
The process is my mentor.
You still feel that way?
100%.
Yeah.
I learn by doing.
Yeah.
I don't need somebody's advice. Not my dad's, not my mom's, not fucking Elon Musk, not fucking Warren Buffett. I don't want it. I'll tell you why. Not because I don't fucking respect it. I respect I respect anyone who's trying. For everybody out there who's trying, I respect you. It's not how I learn. The reason I am who I am is I listen to people.
Meaning feedback?
100%.
Yeah.
The reason I love that person rolling up at me, Babin, at 11:37 p.m. after a fucking 23-hour day is because I'm going to learn something from the way they feel and what are they going to say? Why do they fuck with me?
Yeah.
The reason I read all my comments and engage and I know what to make. Do you know why I know how to make the next piece of content? They told me. It's in my comments. It's in everyone's comments. But all these fuck faces listening right now care more about the likes people give them than the people behind those likes. And that is the fucking mistake.
There it is, man. I'll let you get out of here. Good, solid ending.
Love
Thank
it.
you, Gary. I
You
appreciate
got
it.
That was great, brother. Guys, if you like that and you want to see more like it, as well as vlogs, other web series, and all the random stuff that I'm doing here on YouTube, don't forget to click that subscribe button. You won't regret it. I promise.